And this is our 9th session, and mainly it's going to be about listening, right? Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Listening, session 8. It's the 7th chapter of listening, and it starts with following signpost words. Okay, it's very interesting. It's using technique of signpost words. What are signpost words and how do they help us to understand? Okay, good public speakers and lecturers indicate the stages of their talk through the use of signpost words. These words direct our listening. They warn us that more information is coming and suggest what kind of information this may be. Being able to identify and follow the signpost words will help you make sense of what you hear and help you answer the questions. My question to you is, when you hear the word signpost or signpost words, what comes to your mind, and where do you see signposts, and how signposts help you in your everyday life? Anyone can answer.
We can see these signboards on the different places, like on roads, any institutes also. They help us to, they guide us.
Okay.
Sometimes if we talk about the roads, the signs on the roads, there are some rules, there are some guidelines, like they may tell us the ways, or they may tell us the speed limit, or sometimes they may tell us the side of the turn and all these things. But if these signs are in an institute, like in universities, so they may tell us about the locations, or they may tell us about that you are at this place, and if you want to go there, you have to follow this side or this side. So like.
So signposts help you to find your location, to find your destination, and it gives you an idea what is something approaching and what is something going to happen or something coming, right? Same is the case with the signpost words. I mean, when you listen or when you read something, when someone is speaking, these signpost words give you some kind of direction, some kind of indication that this is going to happen. This is something the speaker is going to talk about. This indicates that this is something he is going to share with you. Okay, so these are like great indicators which help you to find out something before time. Okay, now as you see the picture here, it also shows the picture of a signpost where you can write different directions, different words, different things. Okay, learning to direct your listening. Read the unfinished statement below and the 3 possible ways of completing the idea. What does the word although signal? Okay, here is the word although. Although a great deal has been achieved in the area of cancer research, and sentence goes on. Now it means there is still a lot we do not understand about cancer. B, we need to get our governments to allocate more funding. Continued research is still essential. So just take like 15 to 20 seconds and try to figure out what does it mean, this sentence mean. Is it A, is it B, or C?
I think it's C, continued research is still essential.
Okay, although a great deal has been achieved in the area of cancer research, mean a lot of things have been done, a lot of work has been completed. Okay, in the area
we need to get.
Yeah.
I think the answer is B. We need to get our government to allocate more funding.
More fund. There is still. What do you think about A? There is still a lot we do not understand about cancer. we need to get our governments to allocate more funding. C, continued research is still essential. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you go down after the options, you see all three possible endings make sense and provide a contrast to the idea that a lot has already been achieved. Okay, all three possible endings make sense. Okay, but the sense, the sentence tells that a lot has been achieved, but still there is a lot more which need to be discovered, which need to be achieved. Now look at question number 2. Now read the unfinished statement in the speech balloons 1 and 2 below, and the three possible endings for each. Say which of the ending A to C to 1 and 2 are correct, and then say why the other two are not possible. For example, number 1, car manufacturers today are working on ways to reduce our dependency on oil. For instance, A, B, and C. Can you make a choice, please? And take like 15 seconds. Look at question A, question 1, and question 2, and find out what can be the answer.
I think so. It's B. Some new cars run on ways to reduce our
Okay, so
dependency
you
on oil.
say question 1, car manufacturers today are working on ways to reduce our dependency on oil. For instance, some new cars run on a combination of petrol and electric power. That's right. That, for instance, it's mean for example. Okay, so B is the right answer. Option A and C do not provide an example of how car manufacturers can reduce our dependency on oil. B is the option which gives you an example, so B is the right answer. So question 1, the right answer is B. Okay, we move on to number 2. Not only in Swahili, it's a language, not only in Swahili spoken by people of East Africa, it is also, now you have three options. Make a choice, please. What choice will you make for question number 2? So question number 2, not only in Swahili spoken
Mami,
by
you're
people in
disconnected.
East Africa, it is also, anyone can, Abir, you can also make a choice. What do you think? Is it A, full of Portuguese and Arabic words? B, quite difficult to learn? C, used as a language of trade in many African countries?
I think so. It's C.
It's C. Yeah, that's right. The right answer is
Because if we see
C.
the word also, it makes a sense with used. Also
Yes.
used as a language of trade.
Options A and B do not provide a further example of when Swahili is spoken. So the right answer is C. Okay. So this is like an indicator. For instance, tells you that you are going to give an example. Also, it tells you that you are going to tell another thing which helps in this. Okay, so these are like signpost words, or like the words which guide you how to figure out the answer. Okay, looking at question number 3, Mariam, if your internet connection is okay, can you read question number 3, please? Or Shazib, Shariar, or
Can
Abir? Yeah.
I read.
Okay, look at the list of directions in box A and then match them to the signpost words in box B and box C.
Okay, now I'm sure you know what are the signpost words. They are given on the right. The B, signpost words within a sentence. Okay, Abir, can you read the signpost words within a sentence? although, even though, okay,
despite, even
yeah,
if, also,
yeah,
so, but, while, because, as well as, unlike, whereas.
whereas, okay. Now I want someone to read directions.
Should I read?
Yes.
Number 1, singling a contrast or opposite. Number 2, introducing an example. Giving an example, cause and effect. Number 4, providing extra information. Number 5, setting out the stage of talk, singling a sequence. And number 6, singling an explanation or result.
Okay, so now it says, look at list of directions in box A and then match them to the signpost words in box B and
Thank
box
you.
C. Okay, now these are like, for example, the number 1, signaling a contrast or opposite. What word
Despite,
will you use from B?
I think so, despite.
Signaling a contrast or opposite. It can be despite, it can
Although,
be although, yes, even though,
while,
whereas, however, but,
Or unlike,
unlike, while, on the other hand, but on the other hand, by contrast, even if. All these can be used.
yes.
Okay, contrast mean the like something opposite. Okay, so you can use all these. I repeat, number 1, signaling a contrast or opposite. You can say although, despite, even though, whereas, however, but, unlike, while, on the other hand, but on the other, by contrast, even if. These are like opposing ideas. Okay,
Yes.
number 2, introducing an example.
An example.
Introducing an
an
example.
example.
Also,
For
Okay,
instance, for example,
yes. For instance, for example, that's right. Question number 3, giving a reason like cause and effect. Giving a
because,
reason, cause and effect.
But
Because. No, but
because,
is
yes.
for opposing idea or for contrast. Okay, something happened because of that. Okay, I couldn't get up early because I slept very late. Okay, so next one, number 4, providing extra information.
Although,
Providing extra information.
as well as,
yes.
As well as, yes, in addition.
in other words,
No, in other words is something different that comes for something else. So providing extra information, we can say in addition,
In addition,
also,
yes.
as well as, or furthermore. Furthermore, I think it's not there, but you can also
whereas,
say no, whereas is something else. Whereas is slightly contrasting or opposing thing. Furthermore, okay, in addition, you can say that. Okay, number 5, setting
moreover,
out, sorry, setting out the stages of a talk or signaling a sequence. Signaling a sequence or setting
consequent,
stages of the talk.
I think
consequently,
Consequently,
first
first
of
of
all,
all,
go for
last,
first of all,
uh,
lastly, then, okay. So
yes,
these are like you know, these are called sequence words. These tells you, these words tell you the steps, like you do first, second, third, after that, later, finally, at the end, steps like this. These are the words which tells you the stages. Okay, number 6, signaling and explanation or result.
On the
Okay,
other hand, on the one hand,
on the other hand, yes. So,
so
okay.
yes. Despite,
No, despite is something different. Consequently,
okay.
because
Consequently,
consequently
yes.
as a result. Okay, so for instance, instead of saying as a result, you can say consequently. Okay, this is like the
Yes.
final explain, you are explaining, or you are giving like the final words. So these are like the words which tell us what does the examiner wants from us. These are like signaling a contrast or the opposing ideas, introducing an example, giving a reason, providing extra information, setting out the stages of the talk, okay, signaling an explanation or result. Okay, so does it make sense? Yes, are you there?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Question number 4. Question number 4, I want someone to read.
Underline the signpost word in the following ideas and complete the sentences in your own words. Say what direction the signpost words are signaling.
Okay, actually this is something, the same thing is being explained. What we will do, we will move on. We got the idea here. Now we will look at this one here, the exercise which we will do. Note how the words from box B above join ideas, and how the words from box C always come either at the start of a new sentence or after and joining two main ideas. Question 5, listening 27. You are going to hear 6 unfinished statements, each ending with a signpost word, signaling further information. Listen to the unfinished statements, and for each one, note the signpost word you hear and say what direction it is signaling. Okay, now the first one, you have signpost word, and then you have direction. Okay, I will guide you in the first one. Don't think that this is hard. It's simply easy, quite easy. So once we start the listening, you will understand. Just for like few seconds, I want you to look at the question again, question 5. Read the statement before I play the listening. I think Sajjad has also joined us. Sajjad, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Yes, I am here.
Good to see you, Sajjad, and
Thank you, sir.
I'm feel happy to see you back after holidays. And we have some others. Mariam is there, Shariar is there, and Shazib is also there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll play the listening now. And now you know what are the signpost words. Signpost words are like firstly, secondly, on the other hand, but, consequently, first of all, then, for example, for instance, something like these are signpost words. Okay. For example, when I say telling different steps, you will understand it's like first, second, third, finally, like that. But when I say but, it means it's like opposing ideas, opposite thing. When I say, for example, for instance, it means I want you to give me an example of that. So these are like the signpost words, and the direction is what is something it tells you. Now I'll play the listening and we'll see what is number one. So what signpost word is used?
For instance,
For instance. Please write for instance. Okay. So Sajjad, what do you think? What is the signpost word here?
For instance, sir.
For instance. For instance mean, for example.
For
Okay?
example.
Same. For instance, for example. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the direction when you say for instance, what does it mean? For instance, introducing an example, giving you an example. Okay. For instance
Yes, sir.
mean, for instance mean, for example. Okay. So you see here, signpost word is for instance. For instance. Okay. For instance, and the direction is introducing an example.
Example.
It's like this. You get it?
yes.
Okay. For instance mean for example. In
Yes, sir.
your everyday life, even you don't say for example every time. Say for instance. For example, for instance. For instance, for example. The same thing. Okay. Now please listen the second part. The second part. Okay. Next one. Okay. So this is number 2. Okay. Again,
First of all,
signpost.
First of all.
first of all,
Signpost, first of all. Okay. First of all. Yes, that's right. First of all with double L. First of all with double L. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And direction. What is the
Signaling.
direction? Sorry?
things to do
Signaling.
first.
It's signaling what?
Sitting out stage up top.
Yes, it is it is giving you the sequence of something. First of all, secondly, thirdly, after that, finally. So this is like signaling a sequence. Signaling a sequence.
Yes, sir.
Sequence. Signaling a sequence. Okay. Next one. Okay.
Consequently,
Consequently.
Okay. That's right. That's right. So here we go with the word consequently, and directions. Direction.
reasoning,
Mean what is another word for consequently?
consequences, like
As a
the
result.
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you. Someone said as a result. Thank you. As a result, mean like as a result, after something happened, now here is the result. That is a consequence. Okay. Now, moving on to the next one. Okay. Idioms are colorful and fascinating aspect of language, but okay. So now, what is the signpost word?
But
Thank you. And what is the direction?
But opposite.
But
opposing,
okay. Yes. What will be the direction when you say but? What we say when the but is coming? It means We studied in
Opposite
the
direction.
opposite. Thank you. Opposite. And there was another word. Opposite. Opposite. Contrast. These are the two words we studied above in the exercise. Mean when we use but, it means, for example, I say gardening is a good hobby but expensive. Now I'm on one side I say something positive, but on the other side I say the opposite. It's expensive. It's interesting but expensive. So, but means something opposing is coming, some contrast is approaching. Number 5. Number 5. You are all are doing great. Okay. Next one, number 5. Okay. So this is another one.
On the
But there
one
were two.
hand.
On the one
Okay.
hand, on the other hand.
So
On the other hand.
the signpost word is on the other hand. On the other hand. That's right. And direction, please. When we
Like
say
different ideas.
on one hand, for example, I give you an example. On one hand, you say,
Reason.
I want to do this, but on the other hand, you don't work for it. So what are these two things?
Opposite.
Opposite, signaling contrast or opposite. Signaling contrast or opposite. Opposite. All right. Now we move on. It's easy. We have already done this one. So signpost.
Firstly.
Firstly,
Firstly. Secondly. Secondly, right. Direction.
Sequence or
Sequence.
signaling
Okay.
a sequence.
Signaling a sequence or setting out the stages of the talk, right? Setting the stage of talk. Same thing. It's number 2 and number 6 are the same answers. Number 2 and number 6 are the same answers. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now when next time I say, for instance, you will understand. Now the teacher is going to give us an example. When I say, first of all, then now you will see that now Mr. Rijaz is going to give us the steps of something. Consequently, he is telling us the result of something. When I say but, say something opposite. On the other hand, again, something opposite. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally. Okay, these are like the steps of the stages of something, or like the sequence. Okay, I asked you to give me a recipe of something, and then you tell me the steps how to make it. These are like signpost words. So now, what do you think? Sajjad, you joined me late. Did you get it? What is something I wanted to explain?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sajjad?
Yes, sir. I get it, sir.
You got it. Okay, okay, that's great. That's great. Now we move on. We move on to the next question. Yeah.
Sir, in the other words, this is the signpost word, but what is the direction?
Direction mean what this, okay, it's very easy to understand. For example, you are going on the road.
No,
and
sir.
yeah, okay.
Here is right. In other words, this is a signpost. In other words,
Number
we
5.
start a sentence and we say in other words. So, what is the direction? What will we give the direction to this word?
Okay, tell me, what do you think? In other words,
What I
for
think.
example, for example,
Yeah.
okay?
Yes.
Yes, explanation. Yeah, example.
Yeah, exactly. You are explaining, or in other words, okay? For example, I say you can go
Yes, sir.
to another city by car. In other words, you can take a transport and go, any other transport and go. In other
Okay, sir.
words,
Thank you.
mean you are giving, you are telling the same thing, but in a different way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay,
For,
sir.
let me tell you. Let me think about another example. When I say, is there any example coming to your mind, Mariam? You can also share with me. I say.
He do not attend the class. In other words, he is not interested.
Okay, he does not attend the class. In other words, he is not interested. Okay, so mean you say the same thing but in a different way. In other words, okay, saying the same thing but slightly differently. That's
Okay, sir.
in other words. Okay, I wrote something on the screen, but now I don't know how to erase it and go to the next one. I will try. If you have any suggestion or any idea, you can also tell me. This is the first time I wrote. It looked good, but now it's not going. There must be an option to delete it or undo.
There is also a eraser. So there is
Sorry.
also a eraser. You wrote there.
Yes. Oh, okay. I use the Zoom eraser. Yeah, that's right. Actually, this is a new feature which I'm using, so not very much familiar. Thank you, Abir. It looks like you have some IT background. Is it so?
No, sir. I did some class on Zoom, and that is why I knew about it.
Understand. Thank you. Okay, looking at question number 7. Now listen to the ending of the unfinished statements you heard. How similar are your endings? You can check your answers now. I will play the listening one more time, the same, so you can have an idea how is your. Okay, so there is another exercise. It's very interesting. This is completing a flow chart. As you see on the screen, there is a kind of flow chart here, and this is a very interesting one. It will give you some information about McDonald's. And it says there are 2 types of flowchart questions used in the IELTS listening test. Meaning the IELTS listening, you will get two flowcharts like the one I'm showing you now. Type 1, a chart with gaps to complete from the recording. Type 2, a chart and a list of possible options from which you select answers. Question number 8, read the notes below to get an idea of the context and direction of the talk. 9, decide what type of words are missing. Number 10, listen and complete the flow chart. Okay. Before we listen, we will complete question number 8 and 9. We will look at the text and we will see what kind of words are missing. Okay. Can someone help me to read?
Should I?
Yeah, please. Go ahead. Yes.
Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. Number
Okay.
1, 1940, first McDonald's hamburger restaurants opened.
Okay.
Then 1948, reopened as takeaway restaurant with affordable and dash food.
Okay. Wait, Mariam, just wait. It says
Yes.
1940, first McDonald's hamburger restaurant opened. So remember, McDonald's restaurant opened in 1940. Okay. 1948 reopened as takeaway restaurant with affordable and what do you
Fast
think?
food. Quality of food.
Mean what should if you list before listening? What will you say here? What will you write?
This may be the quality of food, or maybe
Um,
the
okay. So
price,
here
low
you
price,
say
affordable.
you write quality of food, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Brothers viewed as pioneers of
Dash.
pioneers mean someone who started something, like he is the one who initiated that. So there were two brothers, what I understand, that they are the pioneers, they were the pioneers who started this McDonald thing.
This may be a person.
Brothers viewed as pioneers of
Per-
what?
Person.
Pioneers of persons. Like I say, he is the Bill
Place
Gates.
or hotel?
Bill Gates is the pioneer of Microsoft.
Pathfinder or
Sorry,
pioneer means pathfinder.
exactly, the people who started something, those who initiated that. So brothers viewed as pioneers of
McDonald or other place?
McDonald restaurant, food chain, something like that.
You understand? Yes.
Restaurant. Listen, we don't know the answers. We are just guessing. Now, next one. Introduced specialization, one cook on burgers, one cook on
Any other thing?
Pizza or whatever.
food, right?
Fries, like pizza, fries, and
Yeah,
anything
it
like
can
that.
be another food. Next, burger sales reached
Number.
thank you, number. Okay. McDonald Brothers sold the business and
Like change something, like to somebody else, or yeah, they quit.
McDonald Brothers sold the business and maybe they started another business, another job, another thing, or maybe they took the money and went to an island and stayed there for the rest of the life.
Yes.
Okay. So no idea. Another business, right? Okay. We don't know. We are just guessing. This is like using the signpost words. We are just guessing what can be the right answer. Okay. So far, this part is completed. We will go to the listening now and we will see what is the right answer. Okay. So take like 10 seconds and I will be playing the listening. Get ready, take your pencil and your exercise book with you if you don't have the book. Okay. I will be starting the listening now. Okay, very interesting. When I heard it first time, a lot of information was new for me and
Yeah, about
might
McDonald's.
be new for you as well. Okay, we'll go now quickly and we will check our answers. Question number 1.
It's reopened as
Good
takeaway
quality.
restaurant with affordable and good quality food.
Okay, so number 1, is there any word limit?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
no more
so
than 2 words.
no more than 2
Good
words.
quality.
So good
Good
quality.
quality.
Good quality.
Good
yes.
quality. Good quality. Okay, that's great. Next, number 2.
It's
Restaurant.
fast food.
Fast
Fast
food.
food. Yes, fast food.
Yes.
That's right. Number 3.
Milkshake.
Milkshake.
Milkshake. Okay. Number 3, milkshakes.
1 million burger.
1 million.
Milkshakes.
1 million, yes.
Okay, number 4.
1
Number 4,
million.
1
Million burger.
million.
1
Oh,
million.
sorry.
1
Wait.
million.
1 million. 1 million. Number 5,
They sold the business and name
name. Yes, thank you. They sold the business and the
and
name.
name. Yes.
Okay. Do you think they did the wrong thing when they sit back now and see how McDonald's has spread all over the
Yes.
world? Do you think they will be feeling bad about it?
Yeah,
That
they will
why
be
did
feeling
they
bad
sold
if
it?
they now if they don't
Why
have a
did
good
they
quality
sell it?
business or
Maybe they have something better now.
yeah,
All
but
right.
maybe
Thank you
not.
so much. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having this session with you all. I'll be meeting you again tomorrow. Is there any question which you want to ask before I leave?
Sir, what is the difference between two words? Here is one is quiet and other is also quiet, but the spelling is different.
Oh, you mean two different words? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. What I understand, you want to, there is a word Q-U-I-E-T, quiet. And there is a word
Yes, sir.
Q-U-I-T-E, quiet, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone from fellow participants would like to comment on it?
I think so. One is like quiet, two is like silent,
Which one is
and
silent?
I think the second one. It's just
No,
a guess.
it's the first one. Okay. Silent mean, for example, I say, please be quiet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sajjad, did you get it? This mean, please be quiet, means stop talking. Okay. And
Yes,
this
sir.
quiet, this second quiet, same like very.
Exit.
I'm quite well. I'm very well. How is it? It's quite good. It's very
It's quite
good.
different.
It's quite different. He's quite smart. Okay. Sajjad,
Yes, sir.
makes sense.
Okay, sir. I understand.
You get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything? How is the session? You joined late, but did you understand what
Yes,
we
sir.
did today?
Sir, I understand very well today because I also participated in the session, and I also understand what you learn, what you taught.
Okay, that's great, Sajjad. We had another student with us from Bangladesh today. His name is Abir Hassan. So Abir Hassan, did you get something from us today?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you, and I understand how to read this book, and it helps me to read the previous lesson, and I will try to read the previous lesson as like you taught us today, and that's all.
All right. It's nice meeting you, Abir, and hopefully in a very short time, you will see great improvement in yourself. And we are happy to have you with us, and we look forward to be with you and be the part of this family, the family which is trying to improve their English and trying to learn a different language. Thank you so
Inshallah,
much.
sir.
I'll see you all tomorrow. Number one, they will increase the expenditure. So the answer is A.